Jesus.
Well, that's just a little turbulent. Why are you so nervous, love?
I don't know. I didn't sleep well last night.
Oh, it's been a while since you...
It's nothing. I'll be fine. Just make sure that cargo's secure.
Everything looks fine back here. Things are shifting a little, but...
Damn it!
All right, that was quite a belt. Let's get our minds on something else. You ever still think about Ireland?
It's 30 years since I've been there, Leonor. I don't remember anything.
Don't be daft. Tell me a story about when you were a little boy.
All right. Did I ever tell you about the time I stole a box of sweets?
No, you haven't.
I was maybe 7 or 8. I was at the corner store with me dad. He gave me enough money for 1 box. But I thought, wouldn't it be grand to get the box for him instead?
Oh, that's sweet.
Well, I'm not so sure. I think I'd done something at the time and was trying to make up for it. But as much as I wanted to give him the sweets, I still wanted some, you know. So I bought the one and pocketed the other.
Oh, no.
And just as soon as I paid the man, I turned around and saw me dad. Just staring at me.
Oh, no. Did he know what you'd done? Or did you get away with it?
Well, that's the thing. He... Shit!
Oh my God! Stanley!
Put your
Stanley,
seatbelt
look!
on!
The left engine's on fire!
No. Oh, Christ, this isn't good.
Stanley, what's happening?
We're going down, love, okay? I need you to hold on, get in the brace position.
No! Shit!
Leonor!
Stanley!
The plane. Leno. Where? Leonor, where are you, love? Up there, my plane. Fuck! Jesus Christ! No. Leonor! Leonor?
Stanley?
Leonor, yes, it's Stanley.
Stanley, are you there?
I can hear you, love. I'm here.
So picked up. Christ, I hope you can hear me.
Fucking mobile's broken. She can't hear me.
I'm still in the plane. Or part of the plane. My leg is trapped.
Oh, Christ.
I can't move. Stanley, I don't know where I am. But I can't see you, but there's smoke. There's black smoke. See?
Lena. Black smoke. She's still alive. Pull it together, Stanley. Do what needs to be done. Steam. This is good. Got to stay warm.
Better get moving. So cold. That's too dark. If I get lost in there, I'll never get out. What is this?
I was afraid of this. I knew from the moment I saw Stanley clutching that tiny body in his arms that the nightmares would come back. They're worse than ever. I can feel Stanley's heart breaking with every shuddering breath. I heard him say, "Don't go." Is he talking to me? I'll never leave him.
There's the black smoke. Need to find a way to that peak. Oh God. Shelter. Oh, thank God this torch still works. Hypothermia. Thanks for the warning. Oh, it's locked. Shit. As this icy stone closes in around me, I'm overwhelmed by a fear that the last 30 years together was only a dream. That I'm still trapped, still locked away in the dark. As I cross this godforsaken island to find you, every agonizing step reminds me that the dream is over. But the pain reminds me that I'm still alive. And as long as I live, there is hope. Leonore, I will find you. I will find you. Stunning. It's like a cathedral. Looks like a way out, but I can't climb this ice. Ah, you poor bastard. At least I won't stay trapped in this cave. Leonore.
Stanley, I can see the lockbox. It's empty. The crasher must have broke open. All the case files, all the information. My diary. You have to find him. You have to find everything. If anyone comes, Stanley, if anyone comes, they can't find out who we are.
Bollocks. All this time, I've been so careful. What now? My God. No, 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 no. Earthquakes now. This fucking island is trying to kill me. Another bunker. Shit. I'll never break through that ice. journal.
Mother's crying in the next room. She says it's because she's happy, but I don't believe her. My father is getting out of prison. My friends protest the unlawful imprisonments, but I wish they'd kept Michael O'Shea locked up forever. Life in prison isn't long enough for him. It would kill my mother if she ever read this. What if Michael ever read it? Would it kill him? Or would he kill me? Well, the violence didn't stop when he was on the inside, but at least when I read about something terrible in the paper, I knew my father wasn't the cause. But now, God help us all. Stanley took me to this lovely old tree on the cliffs overlooking the sea. It was just the perfect spot. Then I saw there were notches carved into the trunk. I pointed them out to him and asked him how many other girls had he brought here. Stanley laughed and said when he was just a lad, he and his dad would come to the same spot for picnics, and Paddy would notch the tree to show how much Stanley had grown. I turned as red as a beetroot and muttered some kind of apology. When we sat down to eat lunch, I saw another notch at the base of the tree. When I asked him what that one was for, he winked and said, Margaret Kane.
If she knew I was reading her journal, she'd just... Don't even think it.
The summers in Munich are beautiful. The palazzas are full of tourists, so Stanley and I blend right in. But even in the sea of anonymous faces, we have to be careful. Today, I was sitting in the park with my lunch when this young man with a big fancy camera came up to me. He was handsome and stylish, a real artsy type, and he asked if he could take some photos of me. Obviously, I had to say no. But then he said something that caught me off guard. He said that my eyes were the saddest he'd ever seen. Of course they are, I said. I'm Irish. I left everything on the bench and disappeared into the crowd. Mother begged me not to go, but I assured her it was a peaceful rally. Molly wouldn't go with me, she was afraid the army would show up. So I dragged Stanley with me. I thought for sure he'd want to be there, because his father was one of the speakers. Paddy Whitaker was an electrifying presence. People were cheering and clapping as he spoke about the end to the violence, a peaceful end to the troubles. He spoke with such conviction, I nearly wept. But when I looked over at Stanley, he was wearing fucking headphones and messing with his cassette player. He said he'd heard it all before. I couldn't believe it. He has no idea how lucky he is.
First the shelter, now this lock. I've got to find a way through. Believe it. Those numbers from the journal. This makes no sense. Still alive. Get warm. Got to get warm. Oh, this valve. Maybe. That's good. Oh, thank God.
I don't know what's wrong with that man. Stanley came into Rory's pub tonight, sweaty and out of breath. His eye was swollen, his lip was bleeding, and he looked as proud as a peacock. He and one of his no-good mates went messing into East Belfast to stir up trouble. Stanley had the brilliant idea to spray the Story Plough over a Unionist mural, but they got caught by some locals and they got into a scrap. Rory thought that was a gas and bought Stanley a pint. I told Stanley he was an idiot. What if he'd been caught by the guard or the UVF? They'd have bloody killed him. But he was just too proud of himself to listen. face hurts from trying to smile all night. I can't blame Stanley. There's no way he could have known. He's not that cruel. He knew I was named after Beethoven's opera and just assumed that I'd be a fan. But it was my father who loved the opera. He'd blast those records into the night and stagger about with a half-empty bottle, waving it in time with the music. It was terrifying. But I loved Stanley. So I gripped his hand and smiled through the entire performance.
These pipes, they must all be connected.
Stanley, are you there? Oh, it's so cold. I can't stop shivering. My leg is gone numb. At least it doesn't hurt anymore. Am I falling asleep? Oh, I thought I heard voices. I don't remember what time it is. I think it'll be dark soon. I don't think I'll make it through the night. Oh, Stanley, you've got to stay warm.
Oh, God. Hypothermia must be setting in. Oh, shit! Hail! Fuck! Hail's too strong. I can't get through.
Molly and I snuck out to a party tonight. It was in full swing by the time we got there, meaning all the boys were bollocksed. Well, not all. We weren't there long when this beautiful lad hands me a beer and said his name was Cullen. I was tall with bright green eyes and he wore neon-coloured runners. I asked him if it was his party. He shook his head and said that knew it was my party. Then he turned and waved his hand around like he was the great fucking Gatsby. And the first thing we saw was Stanley Whittaker throwing up in the kitchen sink. I laughed and said he could have his party back. And we blathered for a while and we were really getting on when Stanley Whittaker stumbled over and asked Colin if he ever wore those shoes outside. And before I could tell him to fuck off, Stanley asked Colin if he knew I was the daughter of Michael O'Shea. I felt my legs go numb. Colin couldn't get away from me fast enough.
This thing. Christ, I hope it's big enough to protect me. The door. It's working. Kiss my arse. Fucking island. The black smoke. Nearly there. Oh no! Oh Christ, what the? Oh fuck! Help! Help me! No. No! I was right there. What do you want from me? Tell me what you want from me. Pull it together, Stanley. The sooner you find Leonore, the sooner you can get her off this fucking island. Just find her.
I will not be a prisoner's wife. I will not become like those other empty wives, like my mother. I will not be looked after or taken care of, isolated. There is no light without him. He is my heart, and I cannot live without my heart. I'll do whatever it takes to get him out. I will not be a prisoner's wife.
I'm lost. Leonore, please call. Let me hear your voice. Of course. Missing the fucking handle.
So many funerals today. I was with Stanley at his father's funeral. There was quite a crowd of people. I told Stanley his father would be proud of the turnout, but he said Paddy would just want to make a speech. The police were watching the crowd, but they didn't bother anyone. They were hidden, but I spotted them straight away. I had to help Stanley write the eulogy for Paddy, but when it came time to read it, he couldn't speak. He gripped the sides of the lectern so hard I feared it would splinter in his hands. Finally, Stanley said Paddy was a speechmaker, but he wasn't enough like his father to do him justice. He just folded up the speech and left in silence.
All dead. Everywhere.
I wonder why I keep these damn journals. There are so many things I wish I could forget. Today at the school site, my senses were filled with the buzzing of insects and the smell of the jungle. But then, all at once, I thought I was back in Belfast. The air rocked with a heavy thud of a bomb exploding. Stanley took off in a dead run towards the sound. A cow had set off an old landmine, and there was a man at the edge of the field shouting for everyone to stay back. But Stanley, he charged past him, splashing into the mud. I wanted to stop him. My voice froze in my throat when I saw Stanley lift the tiny body out of the grass. The boy's name was Udom. He had been walking with the cow. Udom's father collapsed as Stanley gently passed the boy to him. Udom's father kept apologising over and over for not protecting him from the evils brought to this village.
Need to find another way. Fucking jellyfish! I'll take that. Finally, an open door. Oh, great. More freezing water. Come on. There's got to be some way out. Locked. Why am I not surprised? There's not much shelter. This place is bloody cold. I've got to move quickly. That's a big fucking door. Ice now. Oh, fuck, it's cold out here. Stuck in the ice. It looks like it's been deserted for ages. What the hell was this place? Some Cold War bomb shelter? A key card. Let's see if it still works. I've got to get out of this place. I don't like the looks of this.
System online.
Hello? Who's there? Can you help?
Please state your name.
We've been in a plane crash. My wife.
Please state your name.
Stanley. Stanley Florence. But you...
File not found.
Listen to me. I'm trying to find...
Please state your correct name.
Stanley. Whitaker. My name is...
File found.
For the son of Patty Whitaker to do something like this. They say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, but it's like you came from a different tree altogether.
What are you talking about? What are we doing here?
You know exactly why you're here.
I'm trying to find my wife.
I've done nothing wrong. Usually I'd say that's a matter of perspective, but not in this case.
Tell me where she is.
I've only got one question for you, Stanley. Why did you bomb that pub?
What?
What's this about?
You're talking about Rory's pub? You think I
That
did
was
that?
30 years ago.
You're mad.
That wasn't me.
Rory was a mate. I would
You're
never...
misunderstanding the question. I wasn't asking whether or not you did it. Why did you bomb that pub?
Where is Leonore?
Wasn't that an IRA pub?
Bollocks. Rory wasn't political.
With all those dissident Republicans who drank there?
Everybody drank there. It was just a local.
What about your father? Did Patty Whitaker drink at the local?
No.
No.
Your father, the famous peace activist, wouldn't step foot inside it because it was Michael O'Shea's pub. And Michael is real IRA. But then you go and marry his daughter.
I don't want to hear this.
Jesus, I can't imagine the look on your father's face when you told him. Surprised it didn't kill him on the spot.
No. It was the police that killed him.
Then why didn't you bomb a police pub? Help me understand.
There's nothing to understand. I didn't fucking do it, right? You've got the wrong fella.
Glad you chose that pub. Probably saved us a mess of trouble.
Please.
Bunch of tossers and tow rags, all of them.
Just let me go.
All of them criminals, except her.
Please.
Fiona Miller was just a little girl. You're gonna pay for that.
Go to hell.
Look around. We're already there. You're the one shagging Michael O'Shea's daughter. Leave her out of this. What's she like, eh? I'll bet she's a wild one.
What the fuck is this all about?
I just might have to go pay her a visit while you're stuck in here. She's got nothing to do with any of it. Maybe me and some of the lads. If you ever lay your fucking finger on her... You'll what? What'll you do? Blow me up too? You want to protect your little whore. You signed that statement.
This letter will reach you, if it will reach you at all. I can only pray that it will. Our world is clouded by the fog of war, but in the time I spent with you, things finally became clear. For the first time, I thought I could imagine a future, a life with you. But that's all over now. Sometime very soon, I'm going to be transferred to the maze, and I know I'll never leave that prison alive. I don't know where I'll go when it's over, but I'm not afraid, because I've seen hell. This is it. And it's cold, and it's dark, and I've no way to reach you. Leonore, you are my light, but we have no future together, and I'll not have you wait for me. Forget about me. I'm already dead.
It's time to wake up. You have to move on.
The dream is over.
What the hell just happened? Just a nightmare, right? It's all over now. It's over.